Hello, and thank you so much for clicking on this video. This is the very first video I've made on this channel, and in it I'll be going over the story of Jeanne Barret, who was the first woman to circumnavigate the globe and a pioneer in botany. Let's get started. Born in 1740 in the small village of La Comelle, France, Jeanne Barret grew up in humble circumstances, spending her days among the plants and herbs of rural France. In a time where women were largely confined to domestic roles, Jeanne wasn't content with that. You see, she had a burning passion for botany and a thirst for adventure. One day, she happened to meet a man by the name of Philibert Commerson, a renowned botanist with a passion as fierce as hers for the natural world. Recognizing her intelligence and unshakable curiosity, Commerson saw more than just an herbalist. He saw a partner in his thirst for discovery. They became close, both in work and in life, sharing a dream of exploring the world's flora. In 1766, Commerson was invited to join Louis Antoine de Bougainville's expedition to explore the South Sea. But there was a problem. You see, in the time of colonial Europe, women weren't allowed on naval ships. This didn't stop Jeanne, though. As determined as she was, she did the unthinkable for a woman of that time. She disguised herself as a man. She cut her hair, she bound her chest, and she adopted the identity of Jeanne Barret to join the expedition as Commerson's assistant. Life at sea was tough. Jeanne had to manage both her duties on the ship and her role as a botanist, all while maintaining her disguise amidst the cramped quarters and growing suspicions of the crew. Yet, Jeanne prevailed. She faced fierce storms and the relentless challenges of ship life, documented numerous plant species, many of which were previously unknown to science. Her keen eye for details and vast knowledge of botany earned her the respect of her fellow sailors, even if they only knew her as Jeanne. Upon reaching the shores of Tahiti, the expedition encountered a vibrant culture with stunning biodiversity. Jeanne's contributions continued as she documented the local plants and their uses. But Jeanne's secret couldn't be kept forever. The Tahitians, who weren't quite as bound by gender as Europeans, saw through her disguise immediately, and word spread quickly back to the crew. Confronted by Captain Bougainville, she had no choice but to confess. She told her story with quiet dignity, her resolve unshaken, even as the full weight of her deception settled over the crew. And yet, there was no fury, no demand for punishment. Jeanne had proven herself. She had worked just as hard as any man, risking her life for the sake of discovery. The crew, don't get me wrong, they didn't welcome her back with open arms, but they did acknowledge her contributions. However, their journey was far from over. After the revelation, Jeanne and Commerson continued their work, but the toll of the voyage weighed heavily. Commerson's usually fragile health declined until he died in Mauritius, leaving Jeanne alone in a strange land. Unfortunately, Jeanne was never an official part of the crew. She was only allowed on board as Commerson's assistant, and with his death, she lost her place on the ship. But resourceful as ever, she found work at a local tavern frequented by sailors and traders. It was there that she met Jean Dubernat, a French naval officer. They married, and in 1775, nearly a decade after she first set sail, Jeanne returned to France with him, completing her circumnavigation of the globe. Jeanne Barret had not only become the first woman to circumnavigate the globe, but had also collected over 100 plant specimens, many of which were unknown to science at the time. Upon her return, the French government acknowledged her role in the expedition and granted her a pension, an honor rarely bestowed upon women of her time. Though her story was largely forgotten for centuries, historians eventually pieced together the full scope of her achievements and named a species of plant in her honor, that being Solanum barretae. Today, she is celebrated as a trailblazer for women in science and exploration, inspiring future generations to pursue their passions regardless of societal constraints. Once again, thank you for watching this video. If you liked it, don't forget to hit that like button and subscribe for more videos on relatively unknown historical figures.